up, y'all? It's your girl, Boogie Montana, coming back to y'all with another video for Boogie Montana Television, Boogie Montana TV. Okay. You're probably wondering why I have this. You're probably wondering why I have this bag on. You're probably wondering why I have this bag on as if I'm going somewhere. And the answer is, you're absolutely right. I'm going nowhere. This bag is a prop to go with this lovely bodysuit that I'm going to create in this DIY. Let's get into it. So, if you're interested in finding out how I made this bodysuit or learning how to make one yourself, stay tuned for this video. You go ahead and sit down and tune in. That's what you do. Tune in. Tune on in. Tune in. Tune in. Before we jump into this DIY, I don't know, I just had like a really big sigh and I don't even know why. Jump into this DIY, I first am going to list all the materials that you will need to do this project. So, here we go. For this project, I'm looking like I'm about to fight. Let me bring it down a notch. Tick, tick, tick. For this project, you're going to need an oversized t-shirt like the one I have here. Here. You can thrift for this shirt or you can use one that you already have. I already had this shirt, but this is technically, or not technically, but hypothetically a thrift flip video. So for this DIY, you're gonna need an oversized. Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Have to run it back, get it together. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a hot glue gun. You're gonna need something to write with. And then this part is like an extra step. You don't have to do this, but I went ahead and I grabbed some E6000 glue from my local fabric store. And I'm going to use that to add some rhinestones to the bodysuit at the end once it's done. And you're also going to need some Velcro. Now that we've listed all of the materials, now that we've gone over all of our materials, we're ready to jump into the video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your t-shirt and lay it out flat on a flat surface. And then once you got it spread out, you're going to take your bathing suit, and what you're going to do is you're going to position it onto the t-shirt the way that you want the pattern or the wording that's on the t-shirt to appear on the bodysuit. So, for example, I obviously want the picture of the Golden Girls to be the main part of my bodysuit. So I'm going to make sure the picture is in the middle of the bodysuit when I trace it. Then I'm going to adjust the bottom and just make sure everything is straight and in the position that I want it in. Okay. Once you've completed that step, you're going to want to go ahead and trace. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to start tracing. I'm going to start at the top with the neckline and the shoulders and then work my way down. When you trace, make sure that you leave enough room for the seam. So you're not going to want to trace right up against the bodysuit. You're going to want to come out slightly so there's a little extra room to make the seam. When you get toward the bottom of the bodysuit, when you're tracing, be sure to stop at the waistline, where the waistline begins and the top of the leg holes in, because you don't want to accidentally trace the back of the leg holes onto the front of the bodysuit. So in order to prevent that, you have two options. You can either one, freehand it, which I'm going to do, or you can find something with like a rounded edge and utilize that as a stencil to create the leg holes. So I've traced the top, and so now I'm gonna go down to do the bottom. I'm just gonna flip the bottom of the bathing suit upward. So now that that's done, I'll show you what it looks like. So when I remove the swimsuit, obviously this is what I get. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just cut the seams on each side of the t-shirt all the way up to the armpit. So now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna cut the seams. I love this t-shirt so much. Golden Girls, it was a good run. So you're just gonna cut it along the side, kind of where that crease is, up to the armpit like so. And so you just have a flap, you have an opening like this. So you're just gonna repeat that same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that we're done with that, you should have a flap like this where you're able to open your t-shirt. And now we're ready to cut the front. In order to do that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna open the t-shirt up. And you're gonna flip the back up like so. And you're just gonna have the front laid flat so we don't accidentally cut the back while we're cutting out the front part of the bodysuit. Don't worry about the arms, that's gonna end up coming off as we cut the top. So we're just gonna start from the bottom and we're gonna go ahead and cut. I'm just gonna repeat that on the other side. Now that we've gotten it mostly cut out, we're gonna do the back pattern. So for this, now you're gonna need to grab your swimsuit again. Okay, so as you can see, we have the t-shirt spread out to where the front half of the bodysuit is laying parallel to the back of it. Next, you're gonna lay your swimsuit down onto the back of your t-shirt with the back of the swimsuit facing upward, and you're just gonna utilize the shoulders of the front of the bodysuit as a placement guide for how to lay the back, how to lay the swimsuit on the back. So you're just gonna try to line everything up. Once you have everything lined up and it kind of looks like the front is mirroring the back, we are going to go ahead and we're gonna trace the back, and then I'm gonna cut out the necklines, and then we'll go from there. So next I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna go ahead and trace the back. And so yeah, there's that. When I'm tracing, I gotta add a little extra to the back because you know I got a little something extra in the back. You know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying. And you should have mirror images of each other. So next, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut the necklines out, and I'm gonna cut out the back section. First sleeve is off. Yay! Now I'm just gonna go in and cut out the neck holes, or the neckline, whichever you fancy. So as you can see, I've cut the back out, and then I went ahead and cut the neckline out of the front of my bodysuit. So now we're ready to make the seams. So in order to do that, you're gonna take your garment and you're gonna flip it inside out. And then we're gonna lay it out flat, spread out, so the two sides, the front and the back, are mirroring each other once again like we did when we traced the pattern for the back. We just do one side at a time. So I'm gonna start with the bottom piece, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna create the seam with the side, for the side. So in order to create the seam, you're just gonna wanna go along the sides. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of prepping the edge to create the seam. I just kind of folded it over. Another technique that you can use to kind of create the fold for the seam is if you just take the two edges of the piece of the fabric that you're trying to create the seam for and you tug it outward, it'll start to curl over. So yeah, there's that little tip. So I'm gonna just take the hot glue gun and I'm going to start from the top. And I'm just gonna create a line using the hot glue. And I'm gonna fold it over. I'm gonna fold the fabric over. And then you're just gonna carefully seal it by pressing it down. I'm just gonna use my highlighter that I used to create my pattern to go ahead and go over the seam. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. I just finished the first seam, so I'll let you see what it kind of looks like. Now this is not the best, it's not perfect, but this part is going to be overlapped with the other seam, so you're not gonna see. Now we're just gonna go in on the other side and do the same thing. So as you can see, the sides of the bodysuit are still open. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the two seams we created on both the front and back sides and we're going to marry them together to create a closed seam. So in order to prep for this next step, what I've done is I've taken my garment, I've flipped it back inside out, I've laid it flat so the front piece is on the bottom and the back piece is on the top. And since it's turned inside out, the picture that's on the front piece should be facing upward. And so with that description, that complicated description I just gave, along with that, you're going to take the edge of the bottom piece, which is technically the front of the bodysuit, and you're going to take the seam and you're going to flip it over to where the back of the seam is now facing upward. And then you're going to take your back piece and you're going to take the front side of that seam and you're going to overlap it. So now we're just going to apply glue. So as you can see, I'm now overlapping the seams. I've already started to glue some here. I flipped it back around so you guys can see that the sides are now closed up. And then I'm going to add the Velcro. So I've now added the Velcro by just putting 3 pieces on each layer. So for the top piece, I added the Velcro to the inside, and for the back piece, I added it to the outside of the bottom. So when I put it on, it'll flip upward like this. And then, so now it just overlaps. Hey you guys. So now that we have the bulk of the bodysuit pretty much done, I am going to just go in off camera and I'm going to trim the edges of the legs and I'm going to cut the neckline down a little lower. And then I'm going to just add some rhinestones. And here is the completed look. Come on out, sis. Come on out. 45, 47. Ba-na-bum-bum-bum. Ah! Hold on. This is the push. I'm every woman. It's all in me. No. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, want to see more content like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And if you feel compelled enough to try this DIY yourself, be sure to tag me in the video so I can see.